Hello again, everyone. My apologies first and foremost that I've been a little bit missing in action lately. You might be able to tell from my voice, or you might not, I don't know, that I've had a bit of a sinus infection, so I've been kind of down and out for the past few days. I did receive everybody's persuasive essay, so I'll be going through those and offering commentary feedback pretty soon. But we're coming to the end of the course, and so one of the things that we're working on here is our final portfolio. That's the last assignment that you folks have for the course. It is really an opportunity to showcase some of your best work, some of the things that you feel are a best representation of what you have done and what you've accomplished. So I just wanted to use this video to go over the assignment sheet. And then I'm going to post another video that takes you through some of the things that you can use in order to create that final portfolio. So here, go ahead and I'll open up our final portfolio assignment sheet. And so here, you can see that we have the due date is a week from today by 5 p.m. It is a website. And so some of you folks might have some experiences designing websites. Some of you may have no experience at all. One of the things with this particular assignment is that the editor that I'll have you folks try out, I feel is extremely user-friendly. If you can use Microsoft Word fairly proficiently, then you should be able to do this no problem. It's a lot of clicking and dragging, putting things where they need to go, just inserting different elements, etc. And the biggest thing with any technology, whether you're new to technology or you feel comfortable with technology, is to really get in there and play around, to see what works, to see what doesn't work for you, and to try to be able to find some workarounds. So I'm expecting a lot of this time isn't necessarily going to be new writing per se for the final portfolio, but more of just trying to get the technology to work for you. But it's a website that shows your progress. That's what a portfolio is. It demonstrates some sort of progress over time of your best work in the course. So the contents could include, or should include, all of the drafts of 2 essays completed during the semester. So we have done 3 essays. The visual narrative essay, which had those 2 components, the rhetorical analysis essay, and the inventing arguments essay, also known as a persuasive essay. So whichever of those 2 you feel is the best work that you've done, and again, the best work that you've done might not be the work that you got the best grade on, right? This is your justification, your feeling in terms of this is the best work that I did, right? My grade, that I gave you folks based upon whatever criteria doesn't necessarily always correspond to what you feel is your best work, and that's totally fine. But we need to see all of the drafts, revisions to your forum postings, and a cover letter introduction to the portfolio. So the revisions, some of you folks did very well with the blog, or I should say forum postings. Others struggled with certain ones, so you have the opportunity to revise those in the context of your portfolio. So I'll go through each of these. All drafts. So first, final, and any subsequent revisions. So for all the major papers, you had at least a first draft and a final draft. And many of you have already chosen to provide me with subsequent revisions. So you could be putting something towards a higher final grade. And that opportunity is still out there. Up until that Tuesday, December 16th, you can still submit to me previous work that you want to try to have me look at and regrade for a higher grade. And you can only go up in my book. If you do massive revisions and you've taken that risk to try to revision and re-envision your work completely, I'm not going to all of a sudden knock you from a B- to a D or something crazy like that. You can only go up in my book through those efforts. So you can still have the opportunity to do that. And again, the choice of what you choose to include is completely up to you. Revised discussion postings, so those are all the dates of the discussion postings we had. I know the December 9th one was to be announced. Again, I was planning to put that up earlier, but I got slammed on my butt with the sinus infection, so I'm going to try to get that posted, give you folks a little bit of an extension on that one too, so don't worry about that. An introduction to the portfolio. So other than doing some bits of revision, if you decide again to revise a major paper or you're doing revisions to your forum postings, the only real new writing that you have is this introduction to the portfolio. And the introduction to the portfolio needs to address the following: explaining how the essays you've included and the discussion postings represent your developing interests academically at Endicott, your work in the course, and your growing understanding of the various topics we've discussed throughout the semester. So encased in all of the stuff that you folks have been reading, there's been a lot of different subjects, a lot of different topics. Some things talk about different arguments that are being made. Some things talk about just the writing process, notions involving rhetoric, notions involving certain social issues. So you could feel free to talk about any of those things. The other part is, what progress do you feel you've made over this semester in terms of your writing? So what do you feel has improved, and what do you feel that you still need to work on in some way? And any other comments you'd like to make pertaining to the course. Again, things you think that would be more beneficial for the course that I could take into account when I run this course again. Things that you feel were less valuable, things you'd like to see more of, whatever the case may be. So regardless, through any of these things, please make sure that you proofread, you revise any of the work that you put up there. Okay? So that's the requirements. And then in the next video, I'm going to show you folks how exactly to get this process started of creating that portfolio. Okay? So until next time, folks.